the barricade. They had broken the barricade and was trying to enter through the Shatragachi More. Water cannon being charged at the crowd in order to stop them anywhere close. It works as a deterrent. Some of these supporters tried to breach the barricade, and this is how the water cannon have been charged.
Massive deployment of the West Bengal police is being seen in the visuals. The protesters there also at some points clashing with the officials on ground.
Now the West Bengal police is charging. Continuous tear gas shells are being fired.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we saw anger and anguish translate into complete anarchy against the Mamata Banerjee Sarkar in Bengal. Tears for the 31-year-old rape victim gave way to tear gas shells to disperse the crowds that were protesting today. Calls for justice spiraled into police barricades being brought down. Watch some of these images that capture the student march against Mamata Banerjee's Citadel of Nabanna. This girl held up a tiranga with both hands. This was while water cannons relentlessly pounded her, a symbol of defiance against the authorities, fighting for justice for the raped and murdered young doctor at Abhijan Medical College. And this man, clad in saffron robes, can be seen holding a tiranga as he faced water cannons as well. Watch how he's gesturing towards the Kolkata police, virtually mocking them, saying, "Maine chudiyan nahi pehni." Remember, today 6,000 security personnel defended the fortress of Mamata Banerjee in a 3-tier security setup. Even central forces were brought in to push back the irate mob, which tried to breach the barricades. Police also resorted to lathi charge and tear gas shelling, even against women protesters being manhandled by male policemen. Not one woman policeman at the spot to look and handle these women. In fact, these visuals show protesters unleash their anger and throw tear gas canisters back at security forces who had to run to take cover. While anger and rage rocked Mamata Banerjee's Nabanna over women's safety, a TMC MP, Sayoni Ghosh, added fuel to fire as she mocked the protesters, saying, "Goon-like appearances. Hardly any woman seen in a picnic-like protest with protesters taking a cool shower under water cannons." I mean, was this a joke, Miss Sayoni Ghosh? A 31-year-old young woman, resident doctor at Abhijan, was raped and died. The anger across India is to demand justice for her. It seems like a picnic to you? Just like it seemed to Udayan Guha that women came out on streets only because they wanted to roam around with their boyfriends? Or any finger that goes up against Mamata Banerjee will be broken? A picnic? Protesters were even taking kachori breaks, is what she says. Really? While the Trinamool Congress dismissed the presence of women protesters and derided this anger as a picnic, the BJP lashed out at the Mamata Banerjee Sarkar, saying dissent has been crushed with an iron fist. Watch this war of words.
अगर देश में कहीं तानाशाह है, अगर देश में कहीं तानाशाह है, तो वो तानाशाह ममता बनर्जी हैं। ममता बनर्जी बिल्कुल स्पष्टता से एक स्टैंड लेती हैं कि वो आरोपियों के साथ खड़ी रहेंगी, उनको संरक्षण देंगी।
They have lathi charge, they have used the tear gas as well as the water cannon on a democratic, peaceful agitation. So, opposing this, we have called for a 12-hour band, that is strike in the state of West Bengal.
তারপর কাল বাংলাকে স্তব্ধ ও অচল করার যে প্রয়াস হলো ও হচ্ছে তা সম্পূর্ণত অসমর্থনীয়। এই পরিস্থিতিতে পশ্চিমবঙ্গ সরকার জানাচ্ছেন আগামীকালের প্রস্তাবিত বন্ধকে মানা হবে না, মেনে নেওয়া হবে না।
এটা নবান্ন অভিযান, সমাজ বিরোধীদের অভিযান। ছাত্র সমাজের নাম দিয়ে কারা গেছে দেখেছেন? মুখের ভাষা শুনেছেন?
While Mamata Banerjee's administration cracked down on the protests and called the student protesters a bunch of goons, let's remind you how the Trinamool Congress seems to have forgotten the days of Mamata Banerjee's own dharnas. Last week, the Chief Minister herself led a protest after the Kolkata horror. Was that a picnic too? A protest against herself? Was that a drama too? In 1993, she led protests at the Writers' Building demanding photo voter ID cards, fighting and raising her voice against Bangladeshi refugees who had come in. The police at that time had opened fire, killing 13 Youth Congress workers. In 2006, she led the Shingur protest, which turned violent and resulted in at least 40 people being injured. Similar violence was seen during Nandigram in protests of which Mamata Banerjee was a part of. Her protests continued even after she became a chief minister. In 2019, she held a midnight dharna at the CBI office in Kolkata. Later in 2021, sitting on a wheelchair, she led a protest against the BJP. The Trinamool Congress had then declared that a wounded tiger is very dangerous, but today her government cracked down on the same protesters, the same democratic manner of raising the voice that she herself had done. And these protesters were lathi charged and even fired with water cannons at them. So, ladies and gentlemen, the question that we are asking tonight, is this democracy or rather dictatorship, Didi style? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, political analyst, scientist, Dr. Kunal Sarkar, cardiac surgeon and public speaker, joining me live from Kolkata. Also joining me this evening, Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, supports the Congress party, joining me in the studios here. Vivek Srivastav, political analyst, supports the left parties. But my first question goes to Tausif Ahmed Khan, the Trinamool Congress supporter on the panel. And Tausif Ahmed Khan, is this what democracy really looks like to you? Water cannons, tear gas shells, containers, barricades, what have you? Women being dragged by male police officers. Is this the saving of the democracy that you had promised in the Lok Sabha elections? And may I ask you, protests are a democratic right for everybody. It's a line taught to us by Mamata Didi herself, not yesterday or day before yesterday, since 1993. So what happens to the democratic protests in Bengal? In Bengal, is it dictatorship that's running?
Navika, in this issue of Arjikar Medical College rape and murder case, protests are happening every day. And there are peaceful protests happening. There are doctors, there are civil society. They are taking out peaceful protest march every day. And no untoward incident is reported anywhere. Except for the today's protest, which is not actually any student body's protest, as BJP have tried to claim. This today's protest was a totally illegal protest.
Oops, we have a network problem. BJP is calling it student protest, but it isn't a student protest, Gaurav Bhatia. Then what is it? And what happens to the protest that took place within 3 or 4 days of the rape and murder of the young doctor? At that time, when protesters stormed the RG Medical College, destroyed the crime scene, went looking for the seminar hall where the murder had taken place. What happened then? Where were the tear gas shells then? Where were the water cannons then? The Mamata administration couldn't find them at that time. They could find it only today.
Navika, at the very outset, I would like to make it very clear that today, not just the citizenry of West Bengal, but the entire country is asking for Mamata Banerjee to resign, and she should take a polygraph test. And I'll tell you why. We had earlier seen Mamata the destroyer, who was seen destroying the crucial evidence in this heinous crime. Today we saw Mamata the dictator in West Bengal, where the Chief Minister has taken oath under the Constitution to protect and preserve it, is herself not allowing even peaceful democratic protests. And there is a reason. The reason is she doesn't want to stand with the victim and the family of the victim. Rather, she is shielding the perpetrators of crime. And this doesn't augur well for our democracy. As you rightly said, there was an attempt on the 14th, 15th of this month when the protesting doctors who were protesting against the lawlessness of Mamata Banerjee were targeted by the TMC goons. Mamata Banerjee remained silent, and it was the Honorable High Court and then the Honorable Supreme Court which reprimanded Mamata Banerjee for the lawlessness that is prevailing in West Bengal. Today, yet again, we saw not just Mamata Banerjee, but female leaders like Mahua Moitra coming out and again tweeting that it wasn't a gang rape. As if a rape is fine, but a gang rape is not fine. Mahua Moitra said that there were no broken bones coming from a member of parliament. And what did Sagarika Ghosh, another leader of the TMC, said? She's a member of parliament, and she showed a picture of a protester who's around 65 to 70-year-old. He could be a father, and he's worried and concerned about his own daughter, his son, and their safety. That is why he's protesting. Why can't citizens protest? And this is the same India Alliance which was talking about the Constitution of India. It seems they've held the Constitution in their hand, but they have not cared to read it. In the end, I just want to say one thing. तानाशाही कैसी होती है नाविका? तानाशाही कैसी होती है? बिल्कुल ममता बनर्जी जैसी होती है, where Mamata Banerjee decides to stand with rapists, with goons, but she has no time for the citizens who are protesting against the lawlessness that is prevailing in West Bengal.
Well, absolutely. And let me ask you, Tehseen Poonawala, let's cut the chase, and I want to ask you, did this seem like a picnic to you? The water cannons, the tear gas shells, the manner in which lathi charge was being done, does this seem like a picnic to you?
Good evening, Navika ji. Thank you for having me on the show. So at the onset, let me admit that the Kolkata police has completely messed up perception-wise. They have no idea how to handle this, and they've gone from bad to worse. This, despite the fact that the only accused caught is by the Kolkata police. CBI has come up with as much evidence as the Prime Minister's press conference is zero. They have not been able to prosecute anybody or arrest the principal. But Kolkata police is completely messed up even perception-wise. But let me ask you one question, ma'am.
1 minute.
What's one, ma'am? I want your
interjection.
viewers to see something. Just give me a minute. Just give me 30
Okay,
seconds.
sure.
Your
But
view.
you're saying Kolkata police.
Yeah.
Who's the Home Minister of
Mamata
Kolkata?
Banerjee. Of
So
course.
why are you calling it Kolkata police?
No,
Why
no.
can't you call it the Mamata Banerjee government?
I'm coming to that.
Is it because of your India alliance that this
Absolutely
seems
not.
like a picnic? You've not
Absolutely.
answered my question. Is this a picnic? Does this seem like a
I'm
picnic?
exactly answering your question. I think this is a failure of Mamata Banerjee. No if, no but. No if, no but. Now, I'm asking you, ma'am. Your own visuals that you're showing your viewers, your own visuals, they're throwing stones on police. In Kashmir, when they throw stones or pelt guns, unke aanखें निकालते ना. They are throwing stones on police. That's peaceful. I am not defending the protesters. Their car is, your visuals are showing cars are being burnt on that Howrah bridge. Is that peaceful, ma'am?
Violence.
I am saying, is that
violence
acceptable?
of any
I am
kind
saying, is that acceptable?
is not
now,
the spirit of democracy.
Now, there is Dr. Sarkar here. I have a lot of respect for him. He seems like a senior citizen. He seems like a very well-informed doctor and a public speaker. He's not the one throwing stones or burning cars. He has a right to protest. But should we be burning cars out there next to the secretariat? I'm asking you, ma'am, honestly, hand on the heart to your viewers. If near Parliament House, you'd covered me when I was protesting peacefully, when I was, how the Delhi police picked me up and threw. If I was burning a car, what would have happened? I would have gone under UAP.
So people who were burning cars should have been taken to jail and nobody is standing there for them. But these people, these hapless people with placards where the lathi charge was taking place. I want to ask you, no, look at those visuals. Look at those visuals.
They're throwing stones on the, look at that.
It's not a stone.
Whatever they're throwing on the police, they're throwing those lathis.
The lathi charge is happening on people who are standing with placards.
I am not defending Mamata Banerjee. I'm saying she should go. I am saying, why did Amit Shah not go when the Red Fort, they removed a tricolor and put on the Khalistan flag?
Right.
Why did Amit Shah not go? He was Home Minister, no? Did he take responsibility?
All right.
2 riots under his nose in Delhi. 2 riots. Did Amit Shah ji resign? I'm saying let Mamata Banerjee go. Did Amit Shah ji go? 2 riots under his nose in Delhi. In Delhi, while President Trump was here.
Gaurav Bhatia.
So, Tehseen needs to listen to this. He said perception-wise, the Kolkata police has gone wrong. Not just perception-wise, but constitutionally and politically. And as a human being, Mamata Banerjee has gone wrong, and I'll tell you why, Tehseen. She, as the Home Minister and as the Chief Minister, rewarded a principal who was supposed to lodge an FIR, and for 12 hours, he could not even lodge an FIR with the Supreme Court. The Honorable Chief Justice of India is reprimanded. Second, Justice Pardiwala, who was also one of the members of the bench, do you know what he said? This is the worst case that he has ever seen in his 30-year career of inaction by a state government. And I would also like to ask you, where is the Indie Alliance? Where is the Constitution Savers? Sonia Gandhi has not made a single remark, Tehseen. She is a woman. She is a politician. This country has given her so much of respect. Where is Sonia Gandhi's response on this? Rahul Gandhi calling it a distraction. Is this a distraction?
Fair point, but the question tonight is, and let me get in Dr. Kunal Sarkar. Dr. Kunal Sarkar, you know, the Supreme Court has commented on the manner in which this rape and murder was handled by the authorities in Bengal. So let's leave it because it's settled. The Supreme Court's observations are on record and everybody knows what they've said. My question is, protests being called picnic, protests being called drama, and earlier protests had been called as if, students were going out with their boyfriends. I want to ask you, is this a sensitive government looking at a sensitive issue of a rape and murder of a young doctor in Kolkata? Is this the manner in which sensitive governments respond?
Well, of course it is not, Navika, but you see, this is the great Indian, or in some ways the great Bengali disease, when our common sense and human conscience gets overridden by the political benefits we derive from our unthinking loyalties. This is what is happening now. Now, just to put a few things in perspective, you see where the discomfiture of the current government, you see, government and police, the political entity of the government and the police have become the one and the same entity. They are inseparable from one another. Now, to their great discomfort, if you were watching our local media, yesterday a video has surfaced which puts beyond question that there was a whole lot of people shortly after the tragic incident on 9th of August who it was crystal clear that they flouted all the rules of maintaining the sanctity of the site where this gruesome act happened. So evidence, as Supreme Court has already, CBI has already observed, that the crime scene has been altered. That is what CBI has said, and there was hard evidence of that last night. Now, there was a lot of uncertainty, about this students' movement today. Between one hand, people were saying, nothing is going to happen, it will all fizzle out. And the police, who repeatedly said that this will be a very violent march with firearms and loss of lives, etc. Honestly, police, I think, has arrested 100-odd people today, maybe few more. But so far, there has been no recorded incident of any firearm or whatever, homemade bombs or whatever being recovered so far. Now, the more important question is that the government is on a sticky wicket with the doctors, because the doctors are firm on their demand that the cartelization of the healthcare administration, of which this murder and rape was a gruesome culmination of that cartel functioning, now that has to stop and specific action has to be taken. The police seems to be fumbling at every possible step they can take. Now, I am sure it is not that they are not incapable of a good act, but the question is, too many extraneous influences are acting as balls and chains on the police force with us. But from today onwards, the average citizen of Kolkata, the average citizen of Bengal, I think, is facing a disruption to their individual security and their individual livelihood. It is becoming a life and living issue. Will the city, will the state, till some kind of conclusion, none of us have an idea what this conclusion is. When will this theater of the gruesome will conclude? But I think, as an ordinary citizen of Kolkata and as a citizen of West Bengal, today we feel A, insecure, and B, threatened. That are we relapsing back into the nasty 60s and the nasty 70s, when daily life, daily livelihood, daily security was a very threatening aspect in the life of a citizen of our state? I think things will have to fall into place. It is the duty of the center and the state equally to give its citizens protection, to live and feel secure.
Well said. Well said. Is the politics taking away from citizens their right to security, their right to livelihood? And Tausif Khan, that is the question. What you think and what Trinamool Congress MPs think was a picnic actually wasn't a picnic. These are people who are protesting so that, this entire cabal that operates health services needs to be broken, and they have demands. These are protests. Is Bengal sinking back to the 60s and 70s? And will you call that also a picnic? Because that period was certainly not a picnic, and certainly not called a picnic by Mamata Banerjee herself.
Navika, Dr. Kunal Ghosh just now admitted that he wants Mamata Banerjee to resign for selfish reason. What is his selfish reason? Is that the cartel, the supposed cartel which is there, should not be dominated by the political class, but it should be left alone to the doctors. Well, I do not want to comment on that. But the entire protest is not about the doctors or the administration of the hospital or the cartel who gets to decide what medicine to purchase or whether what corruption is there. The demand, the protest started with one simple demand, and that is justice for Abhaya. No one is talking about justice for Abhaya. Today, the ABVP took out the protest, the BJP took out the protest only because they want to remove Mamata Banerjee from the chair. So, where is the demand for justice?
So now you want to blame the doctors. You want to blame the doctors because you think politicians should continue running the cartel and doctors should not have hand
We are
in it.
digressing from the real issue.
Tausif Khan, I have never heard anything like this ever before. And Anand Ranganathan, I want to get you in on this. Now they are going to call doctors, names the same doctors who put their lives on the line to protect people of India during the biggest pandemic that we saw in the last 1 century. I want to ask you now, I mean, politics
Navika,
aside, you know, if it was a BJP versus a Trinamool Congress, you know, we've got used to that. But now dragging in doctors and blaming the doctors and saying that they want to run a cartel. Now, is this what the Trinamool Congress wants to do now?
Navika, I want 10 seconds more.
Good evening.
No, you made your statement and you made it clear. According to you, this is the picnic of the doctors that is going on, and that is what you want to break.
According to me, this protest today was for selfish reasons by BJP. They don't care about.
You mentioned doctors, Tausif Khan. You mentioned doctors. Anand Ranganathan, I want to get you in. I want to get you in for such a senior, respected doctor like Dr. Kunal Sarkar, who's on the panel. He was summoned by the police because he was critical of the rape and the murder, and now he's being called. And then the entire class of doctors are being called a cartel that are running a racket in West Bengal. You know, what more are we talking about in terms of the breakdown, complete breakdown of civil society that's happening? Because politics and the Sarkar itself is, you know, breaking it brick by brick.
Good evening, Navika. Good evening to my fellow panelists. I've been waiting for 25 minutes patiently. I hope Tausif and my fellow panelists will give me the courtesy of at least a couple of minutes, because this is a very serious topic that we are debating. Navika, just when you think that things cannot degenerate any further, they do. But first of all, I'd like to say it is an honor to be sharing the panel with Dr. Kunal Sarkar. It tells you about the situation when one of the world's best cardiac surgeons has to come out, leave his scalpel for a bit, come out on the streets and protest about the safety of his fellow lady doctor. This is the situation we've descended to. And the kind of abuse and vilification that a preeminent cardiac surgeon like Dr. Sarkar has suffered over the past week, it is a reflection of the society we are living in. And it just refuses to shame us. We are not shamed by it. That's the first point I wanted to make. That when people like Dr. Kunal Sarkar are coming onto the streets, that itself tells you something is wrong. And all those policemen in Bengal, from the highest to the one who is a class 4 employee or whatever the situation might be in the police, I want you to look at Kunal Sarkar and see. He must have treated 10,000, possibly more patients, saved their lives. Did he ever ask them, are you from TMC? Are you from Congress? Are you from BJP? Are you a communist? I want the police commissioner whose bike the alleged rapist was using. I want him to see this panel right now and realize when Dr. Kunal Sarkar is treating patients without knowing their identity. Why are you policing once knowing the identity of people? Is this what you've reduced yourself to? Number two, Navika, this is not about the police action today. If somebody broke the law, broke the barricade, did not go or went where he or she was not supposed to, the police have a right to take action. This is about exposing the hypocrisy of the same police. The same police that is showering people with protesters with water cannons, hitting them with tear gas. Where were all these instruments on that night or morning of 15th August when a 7,000 strong mob, as accepted by Kapil Sibal, the Council of Bengal, charged on to SG Kar College? Where were they? Were they tear gassed? They were climbing onto the girls' hostel through the back door. Were they tear gassed? Were they water cannoned? Where did all these instruments suddenly disappear then? This is the same police who's been castigated for not filing an FIR for 11 hours and 10 hours after the autopsy was taken place, after the body was given away for cremation by the Supreme Court. I want to ask this same police commissioner, are you watching this, sir? You should be ashamed. And finally, The kind of things Gaurav Bhatia has said about Mamata Banerjee, if a common citizen like I or anybody else on the panel had said so, Kolkata police would have left everything, taken a train or a plane, descended to Delhi to arrest me. This is the difference between political class and privilege that people like Gaurav Bhatia have and common citizens like us who are being chased daily by the Kolkata police.
Certainly, certainly, and I am a living example of that. 13 FIRs against me. I probably, if I go anywhere, venture anywhere close to Kolkata, I would be arrested. But Vivek Srivastav, my question to you, is this the democracy that you people were talking about during elections? Is this the democracy on display that we saw in Bengal? And the moot question, where were these water cannons, these tear gas shells on the night of 15th of August? Yes. When the storming of the RG Medical College took place, when the seminar hall and the entire area around it was broken up, destroyed, and where were these tear gas shells on the protesters that night when they attacked the doctors who were protesting outside RG Medical Colleges? Or do they come out? Do they come out against people who are opposing Mamata Banerjee, not people who are helping the Bengal Sarkar, inverted commas, helping, destroying the scene of crime? Tab nahi aata hai tear gas shell.
Right. ठीक है. Ma'am, we have discussed many of the issues that you mentioned in the past. However, today Comrade Brinda Karat came in front of the media and said today's protest is a Sanghi protest. It is not a protest of the Chhatra. There were two organizations who were heading the protest today. There was the Chhatra Samaj and the Sangram Chautha Manch. Now, Sangram Chautha Manch is basically a collection of 35 unions protesting for DA alliance for the last 3 to 5 years. Yesterday night in a 5-star hotel, everybody meets and you try to make a strategy. And why we did not join the protest today? You are not fighting to give justice to the victim anymore. You are fighting to grab the Chief Minister's chair of Bengal and by hook or by crook get President's rule over there. And we do not support that. You fight against Mamata Banerjee for justice, we are with you. You protest against Mamata Banerjee for the wrong actions of the police in the past, we are with you. But then if you want to play dirty politics over here in Bengal, only for the imposition of the President's rule, the governor early morning comes and gives the support in the favor of the protesters. The protesters break the heads of policemen. SHO is bleeding. Multiple constables are bleeding. They had rods in their hands. There were no Chhatras. Ye Chhatra the hi nahi. It was an instigation so that the police fires, the situations become bad, and the governor gets an excuse to get the president's rule. And that is why the left did not support the protest today. Did not support it today. और राम तेरी गंगा मैली अयोध्या गंगा मैली हो चुकी है. A 4-year-old girl was raped in Ayodhya today. कहाँ जा रहा है छात्र संघ? Where is the ABVP? Where is Dr. Sarkar, who's lecturing us today?
Gaurav Bhatia,
I agree with you.
Gaurav Bhatia, is this the BJP's way of getting grounds to impose president's rule? That's the moot question being raised by the opposition parties. They really don't care about insaf. They don't care about justice. For them, it's only about whether you're imposing president's rule and are you trying to get back at the India alliance via Mamata Banerjee.
Navika, as a spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, I am not a competent person to comment on imposition of president rule. However, I want to point out the Supreme Court has reprimanded Mamata Banerjee. The Calcutta High Court has transferred the investigation to the CBI. The governor has said the women in West Bengal are not safe, and the National Commission for Women has also taken cognizance of this offence. What does it show? That yes, there is a failure of the state machinery and Mamata Banerjee is not acting as per the constitution. Anand Bhai just said that I have used certain very harsh terms, Mamata the dictator and Mamata the destroyer, and I will not be arrested, but he would be. Anand Bhai, to get justice for the family members of the deceased victim, I would like to be arrested 10 times and till my last breath, not just as a political spokesperson, but as a responsible citizen and a senior advocate. I will say this is the cause worth fighting for. It's a cause even worth dying for. Third, Dr. Kunal Sarkar
You don't have a cause
made
in
a
UP
very
and Manipur,
pertinent
only in Bengal?
remark, and I want to take it forward. Can I please make my point? Stop shouting. Show some sensitivity.
No, sir, with due
now,
respect.
Dr. Kunal Sarkar,
today something bad happened
who
in
deserves,
Ayodhya.
please
What
do
is your
not
stand on
interrupt
that?
me. It disturbed my chain of thought.
Sir,
Please,
a 4-year-old
Navika, ask
girl
him
was
to be
raped in
quiet.
Ayodhya today. What is your stand
Please
on
ask
that?
him to be quiet.
Well, he's talking about the rape
quiet.
in Ayodhya. Why is the BJP not protesting? There is a legitimate question that is being raised. Please respond to that.
Can I please come in to answer Vivek, because he started on this Ayodhya thing.
So, Navika, since you are asking now, I will respond to it, but after I made my comment. So, Dr. Kunal Sarkar is someone we should actually be revering. We should be, looking up to him. He is being demonized and targeted. And the ex-principal of RG Kar, who should have been questioned and arrested, he was the one who was given a reward as another posting within 12 hours. That is the irony, and I must also now tell you, you asked me a question. We stand with every female, every citizen. When a right is violated, action is taken. You have heard about the bulldozer. You have heard about the arrest. Whether it was Mohit Khan, whether it was any other crime committed in the state of UP, Yogi Adityanath ji has been acting. And one figure for you. Samajwadi Party was in power. The number of rapes, and even one is too many, were 4,816 in 2016.
65,000 incidences of women atrocities in 1 year, sir.
That's a 25% drop.
Well,
and we will ensure that
65,000
not a
cases of women
single
atrocities in 1
incident
year.
of
One
rape
minute,
happens.
one minute,
That is
one
not
minute,
committed.
Vivek
But let us
Srivastava.
discuss
The
this
issue here is Bengal. The issue here is Bengal, but everybody will take the debate here or there. Anand Ranganathan raised his hand, and then I'll come.
Only Bengal. I don't want to talk about Ayodhya.
It is very unfortunate that Vivek deliberately, my good friend, muddies the waters. It is not about the horrific incident of rape that takes place anywhere in India. Every year, 35,000 rapes take place. Every one of them is as condemnable as the next. The question we are talking about is the state complicity in inaction, state apathy, police inaction. That is what we're talking about. If Vivek talks of an incident where the BJP ruled state has not... Vivek, please don't. Please, one second. Please, Navika, I can't talk like this because I'm being interrupted continuously. I'm talking of a very serious topic out here.
No, but you may be talking about a serious topic, but the fact is, the Bengal government looks at it as a picnic, as a drama, as goons on the streets and a dalal/Godi media. Abuse the media every time anything is reported. Ambience of the footage on the ground put out seems like doctored videos to people in the Trinamool Congress. Well, that's their judgment. But as we're looking at this issue, it's a sensitive issue on which justice for a raped and murdered doctor is being demanded. And what do we get in return? Is this entire wordplay on picnic, drama, this and that? But last word to Dr. Sarkar. And Dr. Sarkar, now a cabal, a cartel of doctors is more preferred than that of politicians. How do you respond?
Navika, let us treat it, we cannot change the past no matter how grotesque it is. You see, the question basically is we expect a closure on this case by the CBI. May or may not be something that people are looking for, but we have to get a closure from the CBI sooner rather than later. We have to have action from the government and the health department, who has to show to the people that they mean business when they want to restore proper governance in the health department.
Well stated, measured statement. We as a country need closure and action to be taken. When is it going to come our way is what we are waiting for. CBI, the central government, and the state government. When do we see action on this entire issue? Justice and demands for justice may seem like picnic for now, but this demand will continue. Ms. Saini Ghosh, please take note. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.